Had a horrible experience with real estate in Montana. It was probably one of the worst moments of my life. Within 2 weeks, we moving in of buying this, we ended up having a backhoe lifted up and over our house to dig an 18-foot deep hole because they had jimmy rigged the one of the toilets, and all the piping from the house to the connection in the backyard to the street basically was shattered. Yeah, I learned a lot about integrity then. I think I learned a lot about fiduciary responsibility to your people. My real estate agent just kind of dumped me.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and today I'm here with Lindsay Smith, and we are going to talk about all kinds of experiences that this woman has had. Uh, a vet spouse, is that what you call it? Did I just say
Yep.
that right?
A
Okay,
veteran
good.
spouse. Yeah, military
Okay, great.
spouse.
Military spouse. And there's a lot of insights that she's got to share about that. She's also been a team leader at KW, brought in massive amounts of agents. So we're going to talk about all that stuff and a project that she's started on her own. And it's called Her Way Forward, which I love that idea. I like going forward. That's cool.
Thank
Hey
you.
girl, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Great. We've been chatting ahead of time here, so I'm all pumped
Yeah.
up. So tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah. So originally I'm in North Carolina now. I'm just outside Charlotte, but I'm originally from Connecticut. And I am one of those tried and true. My dad actually just gave up his real estate license last year. So I'm going to be 43 this year, so he's had his license my entire life. So he's probably 40 plus years in the business. And so I kind of don't know, not life without real estate. And so it's just always been around. Um, my dad wasn't a heavy producer. He didn't do it full time, but sales is something he really always did. And so I think I get a little bit of that from him. And I went to college in North Carolina. I went to UNC Charlotte. I met my husband my sophomore year of college. He was commissioning into the Air Force that year. And like all things military, we, jumped ahead. We got engaged very early in our relationship. We just celebrated 21 years, so maybe we did it right. I don't know. He commissioned and moved up to Hanscom Air Force Base, which is just outside Boston. Series of unfortunate events. It's a book title. It's also what happened. It ended up leading me up to school up at UMass Lowell, which is where I actually graduated from. Um, Being military, you really can't, licensing is so hard, right? There's so few things that you can get a license and really make it national because you have to be in a spot for so long. Then there's more education you have to take. If you're transferring, some of the education doesn't always transfer over. So it's really hard, like, try to find a job where you go. You kind of always got to start over. Back when we first got into this, working remotely wasn't very popular.
Right.
And so I ended up getting a job, and it worked well for me after I graduated, and I was in software. I did network monitoring and management. And so that was back in 2004, 5, and 6. And 7, we started our journey. We kept moving. We moved to California for a couple of months. Um, I know in Massachusetts, I started getting my real estate license, and then we got orders to move, and then they took those orders away. And then they gave us new orders. Um, we moved to California. We rented there for a little while, built this really cool network, and then we moved to Montana. Had a horrible experience with real estate in Montana. It was probably one of the worst moments of my life. Within 2 weeks, we moving in of buying this, we ended up having a backhoe lifted up and over our house to dig an 18-foot deep hole because they had jimmy rigged the one of the toilets, and all the piping from the house to the connection in the backyard to the street basically was shattered.
My God.
Yeah, I learned a lot about integrity then. I think I learned a lot about fiduciary responsibility to your people. My real estate agent just kind of dumped me. Um, wasn't really helpful. We ended up calling the plumber. They knew that they had jimmied it up and fixed it. And so it was just a whole big
Wow.
fiasco. It was wild. And so I didn't really then try too hard to get my real estate license. It was something we had talked about. We went to Alabama for a couple of months. We had three kids while in Montana. Well, we had one in Boston, two in Montana, and then we moved back to California. And we were in California, kind of debating what we wanted to do. Our oldest was in fourth grade. My husband suffered a major cardiac arrest, and he was medically retired. So my husband now is a 100% disabled veteran. He still works for the VA system, but that gave us the opportunity to really decide where we wanted to go and what we were going to do. We had looked at some houses in California. I had actually started getting my real estate license with my best friend out there. She is still a licensed realtor out in California in Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, that
Mhm.
beachy area of LAX. She's crushing it, doing an amazing job out there. And so we had really kind of started to decide, were we going to move again? Was my husband going to get out? What were we going to do? And then life threw us a big curveball. Decided I wasn't going to be somebody who didn't have an emergency contact on my kids' forms anymore. And my from college was still here in Charlotte, and we moved back at 16. Got a
Mm.
job working at the schools, was not thrilled. Got my license. It was one of the most interesting experiences. I signed up for real estate school. They closed it because there wasn't enough people to have signed up. Who would have thought? Now they can't like the classes are overflowing.
Yeah.
Um, Back then they weren't. And so shut down my class, went to go to it, got into a new class, ended up quitting my job at the school and just diving into this wholeheartedly. Um, it took a little while. I picked a small boutique firm. The broker in charge was just fantastic. Uh,
Wonderful.
I asked very different questions, I think, when I was interviewing with a brokerage. I wasn't worried about sales. I can sell, I can have conversations, I will meet people, right? I'm a military spouse. You get such a short period of time sometimes where you either jump all in or you're lonely.
Mm.
You either get yourself involved or you've got nobody. And so first year I sold 21 houses.
Get out of here. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was the queen of converting online leads.
Really?
Those were, I think, 17 out of the 21 were all online leads.
Wow. Well, that was really a good era to be able to do it because it was newer, not new, but newer.
Yes.
And people were putting all their information in there. And now it's insane. But that is impressive, girl.
Yeah. It's cutthroat now,
Yeah.
right? My company at the time subsidized realtor.com leads, and I would talk to anybody. I would talk to anybody about anything. And the great thing for me is I have lived coast to coast, up and down, right? And so if you were moving to Charlotte, I could so easily talk to you about moving to Charlotte.
Mhm.
And so that really worked for me. My husband being a vet, I know the VA loan inside and out. So started servicing a lot of veterans. That became the bulk of my business. I hung there for a long time. COVID hit and it just felt weird. Moved over to KW in 2020, September of 2020, was one of their top agents, right? They're a firm of 500. I sat typically fourth or fifth out of 500 agents.
Wow.
Um, I started a team. I got offered the team leader role, which is kind of like the CEO is the clearest when
Hmm.
team leaders
Hmm.
just are verbiage. Um, did that, I recruited over 600 agents. Um,
Impressive.
and so it was
Like, I
fun.
love her.
It was fun when you believe in something, right? It's not salesy, it's truthful. And so I believed in what I was doing. I believed in what we offered. I believed in my leadership team. I believed in my agents. Like that's just who we were. And so created a team. It's just myself. I have a fantastic agent with me that has been with me since 2023, since, well, technically December of 2022. She had to learn trial by fire, right? Because I was working a full-time job as the CEO, and she really just had to come in and do, and she has crushed it. And I'm so
Wow.
grateful for that partnership. We have a transaction coordinator who is licensed, who we rely on heavily. And so then we just kept going with our team, and we were typically, we were number 4 in our market center. So in the KW office as a team for the 3 years that we did it, we were either fourth or fifth. And so that was then. And then I stepped out of the role in 2026. I was voluntold out of it. And we've gone back full into production. And it's her and I, and we're having fun again, and we're just selling houses, and she's still crushing it. Like, if anybody wants to learn the word consistent or perseverance, my teammate is the epitome of that. She calls. Her follow-up is always so personal. It never feels like a follow-up. She remembers birthdays, and she remembers special things, and she'll do things like she'll get tickets to Charlotte FC because she's got we had a client who is like, Charlotte FC is their life. And so, she'll do something like that. Like, it's just, she's so good at it. I'm still learning from her, even though she'll tell you she's still trying to learn from me. But so we've been doing that and just having some fun with it.
Well, what you just said right there was so much, so powerful. First of all, the fact that you have lived in all these different locations makes you so relatable. First of all, your personality style is outgoing, so you're gonna gel with people. They're gonna pick up your energy. They're gonna love it. But the other thing is, just like you said, being a military spouse, you understand that their whole world, and that's a big audience. Those few things that I just said, that's a big audience, especially in the Charlotte area, because they're moving here from all over the place. So that's
Mhm.
powerful. But and your partner on the team, that's awesome. I would need a CRM giving me all that information so that I could remember. There's a certain point when it just goes right out the head. And but that is exact consistent tenacity, personality coming from giving. Those are the winning things right there, don't you think?
It's been fun to watch her, take it on and do all of that. So, yeah.
So how are you getting leads now? Is that your database from when you were doing it before?
Yeah, so we are definitely right. We are 100% sphere-based now,
Okay,
uh,
good.
right? Because we all know, at least in the Charlotte market, Zillow went to Premier Partners and Flex Teams, and then Realtor.com is just super expensive. And so for us, that wasn't really it. And so we have been mainly sphere. When I tell you that it's been repeat clients. It has been referrals. It has been, Lori is my teammate. She's had a goal to get into a neighborhood. And so that has been like her driving thing. So now she's 2 listings strong in that neighborhood, a third one coming up. And she's a big one. Handwritten notes all
Oh
day.
yeah.
So knowing your audience, I think, is really important, right? Because she's reaching out to people who are living in these 4,000 square foot homes that have 3 stories that are older. They're in their late 60s, early 70s. They're getting older. That house is too big for them.
Right?
It's got too many stairs for them, like whatever that might be. And so she's meeting them where they are, right?
Yeah.
And that, I think, is so important when you lead gen. We look at lead gen like it's this 4-letter dirty word, but really, if your lead gen became your lifestyle and your lifestyle became your lead gen, you can have so much more fun with it. She does pickleball competitions, right? Because that's just who she is. And we do events. I am obsessed with events.
I think that's smart, really smart.
That's our lead gen, right? We know what we're strong at. Lori is really strong at like business to business, and I'm really strong at the educational piece. And so
Mm.
we just really lean into that as sources of lead gen. So we're not these big ones on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all of those that have gotten a ton of leads from them, but they have produced leads for us. And so that's been great. Um, I've created a network nationally
Hmm.
because of the military. And so I have referral partners everywhere, right? I just got a referral yesterday from New York,
Mm.
um, moving to Mooresville. I referred somebody to Alabama the other day. I have referred people to California. And so that has been our lead gen source too, which has been fantastic. The military community inside KW for me has brought on some referrals, but that's where we are. And so our lead gen is just like we have kids, our kids are active in sports.
Yeah.
Um, are they getting older? I don't know. We're gonna have to find a new lead gen source, right? Like Lori has I think she'll be a senior in college and then she'll have a sophomore in college. I have a sophomore in college. And so she's got one more in elementary school and I'm done. So we're gonna have to find a new lead gen source besides teachers and kids' friends, but we'll figure it
Well, I just might have something for you. Well,
out.
tell us though about her way forward. What is this all about?
Yeah, so back in March of last year, KW had offered this opportunity to go up to New York. And it some people have heard of him and some people haven't, but Phil Jones wrote a book called Exactly What to Say.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And I asked him, I wanted more. I loved that conference and I was like, I want more. And he was like, okay. And we kind of continued to talk throughout the weekend. And so he was like, finally on Sunday, he's like, let's just hop on a call and let's see what makes sense. And I was like, okay. He was like, are you interested in becoming one of my guides? And I was like, well, tell me what that's all about. I don't know what that is. And so he was like, it's kind of twofold. What do you want to create? What's your what's next piece? And you love the language piece so much. What could that look like for you in teaching what I teach? And so I was like, I don't know, let's do it. So for the last year, I've been working with Phil and his brother and his guides community on what I wanted to build,
Hmm.
who I wanted to serve and how I wanted to serve them. As somebody who was out of the workforce, like your corporate workforce for so long, because I was a military spouse, we moved, I took care of our kids. It was really hard coming back in. It was really different coming back in. And even like going from the somewhat time flexibility, right? It's as a real estate agent, we
Somewhat.
get into it. We're like, I have so much flexibility. And you're like, yeah, no, not really. But going from having some control over that to taking on the team leader role, I really can't, um, I really wasn't able to like have that flexibility again. So that I kind of eased back into corporate. But so I wanted to create this space, this community that I was missing in my world, right? I wanted a space where women could be super real about their struggles. It was really hard being the CEO of this large brokerage for 3 years and balancing my kids still in high school and right, they don't get less needy. They actually start to pay attention even more when mom's not around.
Hmm.
And so how to kind of do all of that. Plus, I had the most amazing leadership team, don't get me wrong. It is one of the most I can't even speak highly enough about that community and what that looks like and what he's created. There is no, I don't know. It's what I have always wanted, but I want it with women specifically.
Mm.
And so I am launching next week, actually. We are launching an event with exactly what to say. It's going to kind of be events, education, um, it will be a community. And so that's what I've been working on with exactly what to say. So I teach the exactly what to say guidelines, and then I've used it to build this community. So
Mm.
I'm mimicking what Phil has done in his community, bringing that to this area. We've got panelists coming, and it's just going to be something really special for women to be consulted, be coached, have a sense of community, ask the real questions. We
Yeah.
want to we want to get out of that research mode. How do you build a business? Are you happy in your business? Is there something more? Do you want to take a passion project and create it into a business? And so that's what we're going to be talking about doing. So that's what her way forward is. Her way forward
Wow.
is something that I've created once before in California on a very low level, and I'm bringing it back here.
It sounds awesome. It really does. Where are you going to do your event?
So we're in Harrisburg Town Center. There's an
Ah,
amazing place down there called the Gathering on Main.
yeah.
Um, we're going to do about an hour of just networking, just get to know women
Yeah.
in this area, and then I've got four fantastic panelists, and they are um, they have taken passion projects and made them full-fledged businesses.
Mm,
One woman had to completely pivot when her space got taken from her. She had to go from a full-on home store to an online retailer, and that's been a really hard transition for her. So now she pivoted. She just opened a new business, and
mm.
one of them, she is a flower farm owner. And so she used to be a teacher, and now she owns a flower farm in Kannapolis, and it's replaced her entire teacher salary and more.
Wow.
And it's joyful, like it's fun. So they're going to share what they would do sooner, what they would change, what made them really successful.
Yeah.
They're going to answer questions for women who want to know.
It's for women. It's not necessarily for realtors at all. This is just about women feeling empowered. Ooh, yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's a
being an
license plate.
entrepreneur is the most interesting job. Women are super creative, um, but we don't know how to translate that, right? Like,
Lot don't.
we don't. I just met the most. So I was telling you before I went to Greece, I got to do this business development project. It is a vineyard. It is basically run by three females. It was the coolest thing ever. And on my way back, I met this woman from Australia, and we were just chit-chatting, and she was telling me she has all these like, passion projects, and some of them are making her money, and some of them are not. She's like, Lindsay, how do I make them into one where it's cohesive? And
Yeah.
so we've been working on just chit-chatting about like how to make that cohesive right now.
Wow. I love that. I love that. There's a lot of women that would really like to go to that event. I can see that. You make sure you tag me so that I can spread that for you.
I will. I would love to.
Yes, happy to do that. Happy to do
That
that.
would be
One of my
fantastic.
license plates says empowered. When I first moved to North Carolina, uh, I was starting over. I was 50, 55 when I actually got here. And then and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was dead broke. I'd left a very large lifestyle starting over, but I felt, well, I'm a born again Christian. It took two times, but it finally made it. And and I said, God, if you would just open up my Red Sea and get me out of this world that I have created a prison for myself, I will be the woman I was supposed to be. And he just opened those doors up. And with my $1,500 that I had for a crown, I got a mover and got some stuff. And I packed up and I moved here with $600. And my daughter let me come in and she booted out a roommate. And I said, I don't have any money, so I can't pay you rent. And she had just started in the mortgage industry. So it was straight commission. And she took me in and she just did great. And a year in, I finally got my real estate license and did something. I was busy shutting down some bad companies that I met when I first got here. And I was just on a mission, don't be bad to people. And but I love the idea of the empowered license plate, and I love empowering women because it
Yeah.
wasn't just for me to be empowered. I want to empower, and that's who you are too.
Very much so. And like I said, in that community, that the exactly what to say guides in that group, like when I was let go from my role, which shocked so many people, I like, yes, I had my family, I had my friends, but holy cow, did that community come around. And there were two women in that group who were, I mean, don't get me wrong, Phil and Chris and all of them were fantastic, but there were two women in there who just like showed up. And that show up is so important.
Isn't
And
it?
so many women just don't have it.
Yes.
We're so busy focused on everything else around us that we get overwhelmed and we don't know how to show up and we don't know the best
Yeah.
way and the right way. And and I think that even that translates to real estate too, right, Kathy? Like so
Oh,
many
yeah, yeah, yeah.
agents, we don't know how to show up. We don't know how to show up with value. We don't know what to say. We don't know what to do. And so really combining the exactly what to say, the language of just simply like the business of language, the business of communication, and then empowering women.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. I love this. I love this so much. Well, any last minute tips for our realtors here?
Yeah, my favorite thing for real estate agents when you get into the business, everybody thinks I got a cold call, I got a door knock, I got to call FISBOs, I've got to do, and I said it at the beginning of this and I'll say it again. Your lifestyle becomes your lead gen, and your lead gen becomes your lifestyle. Go out, find what you love to do, know what you love to do. If you've got a current business, go business to business relationships and build that. If you've got, whatever that might look like for you, if you love playing pickleball, go and do that. If the dog park is your thing, like let those become your lead gen.
Hmm.
And then it's not going to be this job where you're like, shoot, I got to sit from 8 to 11 o'clock and I got to pick up the phone and I got to make a phone call. Don't do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think networking is really important. I joined a BNI in 2008.
Mhm.
Man, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars, but and that's one piece of it. But it's the people, the connections, powerful. Like I've got a broken foot right now. They'll come pick me up and bring me to the meeting, and they'll bring me home. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
it's
different people.
special.
Yes.
It's
And so those connections are so, so important. Well, I love this. This has been awesome. And I think I really love you, and we're going to be friends forever.
I love that. I'm gonna invite you. I'm gonna text you over the invite and I'll tag you in social media and I would love to see you there next week. It should be really special and it should be this is not your typical networking, right? This is elevated. This is
Yeah.
intimate, this is elevated. And so, yeah.
Love that. Love that. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on here.
Thanks, Kathy, for having me. I have loved this time with you.
Thank you. Well, everybody, that's Real Estate Riches, another one down. And I hope that you'll subscribe and share this with your friends. So a lot of realtors that can benefit from what we had to say here. In and outside of real estate, women can benefit. And so please share this, subscribe, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.